Crown Prince. Sources who were in the room described Trump as visibly agitated, pacing behind the resolute desk, his voice rising. The Crown Prince reportedly told Trump that Saudi Arabia could not support further military escalation and was already in talks with Iran about reopening regional dialogue. Trump responded, "After everything we have done for you, this is how you repay us?" The Crown Prince's reply, according to the leaked transcript, "Mr. President, you did not consult us before starting this. We are now consulting ourselves on how to end it." The call ended. Trump threw his phone across the room. It shattered against the wall near the fireplace. Two Secret Service agents stepped into the doorway. Trump waved them off. Pause. That same afternoon at 2 p.m., the moment that will define this entire crisis occurred. Iran's foreign minister appeared on Al Jazeera, CNN International, and BBC simultaneously. He was calm, he was prepared, and he delivered a statement that the White House still has no effective response to. He said, "The United States offered us a ceasefire 3 times in the past 2 weeks. Each time they attached conditions that would require Iran to surrender sovereignty. Each time they leaked to their media that we were close to agreement to make themselves look strong. Each time we clarified we had agreed to nothing. Today, the United States went to the United Nations asking the world to pressure Iran into accepting their terms. We watched 14 nations walk out. We watched America's closest allies refuse to support this action. So now we make our position clear for the final time. We do not accept ceasefires that are really surrenders. We do not negotiate under blockade. And we will not end this conflict until the Strait of Hormuz is reopened and all foreign military forces withdraw from our maritime borders." Then he said the part that is playing on every news network across the globe right now. President Trump can call this a peace offer. The world sees it for what it is. Desperation. According to leaks from senior officials inside the State Department who spoke to the Washington Post, a crisis meeting took place Monday night at 9 p.m. in the White House Situation Room. The participants included Trump, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Defense Secretary Ron DeSantis, National Security Advisor Stephen Miller, and Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff General Charles Brown. The topic was how to respond to Iran's rejection and the diplomatic crisis with European allies. Audio has not leaked, but 3 separate sources have confirmed the same basic exchange. General Brown opened with a military briefing. He explained that the blockade of Hormuz was sustainable for another 3 weeks maximum before logistics became critical. He noted that Iran's retaliatory strikes had damaged 2 American destroyers, killed 19 service members, and hit targets in Bahrain and Kuwait that were supposed to be protected by American air defense systems. Trump interrupted. "Are we winning or not? Simple question." General Brown paused before answering. "Mr. President, Iran has not collapsed. Their leadership is still in place. Their military is still operational, and they are now striking our positions with increasing accuracy." Stephen Miller jumped in. "They are on the verge of breaking. We just need to maintain pressure." Marco Rubio spoke next, and according to sources, his tone was measured but firm. "Mr. President, we have a diplomatic problem that is becoming a strategic crisis. France, Germany, Japan, and South Korea have all broken with us publicly. The Saudis are hedging. The UAE is in direct talks with Tehran. When I call my counterparts in European capitals, half of them will not take my calls anymore." Trump responded, "Then we do not need them. We never needed them." Rubio's reply, "Sir, the reason Iran is not negotiating is because they see our allies abandoning us. They think they can wait us out. And based on what I am seeing, they might be right." The room went silent. Trump stared at Rubio. Then he turned to DeSantis. "What do you recommend?" DeSantis, according to these sources, said, "We can escalate militarily. We can hit more targets inside Iran. We can send special forces in for direct action against leadership. But if we do that without allied support, without UN cover, we are crossing into territory that could trigger a regional war that pulls in actors we cannot control." Trump stood up from his chair. "So everyone in this room is telling me we should just give up? Just let Iran humiliate us?" Nobody answered immediately. Then Miller said, "We double down. We make it so painful they have no choice." General Brown responded, "With respect, that has been the strategy for 6 weeks. It has not worked. It was a cold, calculated assessment from the military's top officer. He was not being insubordinate. He was stating operational reality. But in that moment, according to sources, Trump realized that even his own generals were telling him the plan had failed." The meeting ended at 11:17 p.m. No decisions were made. No new strategy was announced. Trump walked out first. Miller followed. The rest remained in the Situation Room for another 40 minutes, discussing contingencies without the president present. To understand why Trump lost control, you have to follow the incentives of every player involved. Iran is not a rogue actor making emotional decisions. They are a regional power with a sophisticated understanding of international relations and a very clear reading of American political dynamics.
יש לו כלב שנושך, הוא אמר לה שהוא נושך.
מה אכפת לי מהכלב? תקשיב, אנחנו נעמוד אולי שאלה לך? מה הבעיה?
את לא עוברת, ואל תגרמי לי. את לא עוברת וזה שטח פרטי. זה שטח פרטי של הבניין. זה שטח פרטי של הבניין. זה שטח פרטי של הבניין.
I said the other day, Israel will not be a state in 20 years. It'll be gone. It certainly will not be a democracy. It'll be an apartheid state, and the world will just reject it, as they did South Africa. But I'm now saying it'll be gone. Go back and read the report of the Joint Chiefs of Staff when Truman was trying to decide whether or not to recognize Israel in 1947-48 and what to do about U.S. policy. Completely no came from the Joint Chiefs of Staff, based on the fact there were 400 some odd million Arabs and about at that time 3, maybe 4 million Israelis, and other things too. And God, how prescient that report was. Well, it's come true. They are a strategic liability now.
This is not your homeland. It's the Jewish homeland. And like one day it's all going to be ours. And the Arabs know that.
So your dream is an Israel stretching from the Euphrates to the Nile?
So it's not my dream. It's a prophet that we got, like from Abraham. I believe that Abraham is my great-great-grandfather. So this is a part of whatever's, like, at the end it's going to happen.
So the mission is to expand Israel from what it is today.
Also, yes.
To expand into Syria,
Yeah,
into Egypt.
exactly.
Are you excited about these plans?
I'm very excited.
But this entails that you would have to take over countries that already exist.
Right.
So we're talking about half of Iraq, we're talking about
Right.
Syria, we're talking about parts of Lebanon, Jordan, Egypt. How is that going to happen? There are people living in these countries. What's going to happen to them?
It's a great question. Like, I don't know. I know it's going to happen. Like, once the Turkeys were here, and then the British were here, and now we're here.
So when Israel was established
Yes.
over 70 years ago, there were people here, the Palestinians.
Right.
They had been living here for centuries. How do you feel
Right.
about the Palestinians as a people?
I don't know them personally.
You don't know any Palestinian
No,
personally.
personally.
So how do you
Like,
feel about them as a people?
Like, if he has his pride that this is his homeland, so I don't respect him. Like, I won't spit on him, and I won't do anything, yes? Just, like, and my feeling is, like, This is not your homeland. It's the Jewish homeland. And like one day it's all going to be ours. And the Arabs know that. They also have the Bible. I don't know why they're so, like, they also have the Bible and they all know how it's going to finish.
Well, UAE is the biggest suckers in the world. They think that if they handed over their cybersecurity to Israel, a bunch of morons. So Israel owns them and they can do anything they want to UAE. Those idiots trust them. Oh no, they're on our side. Israel isn't on anyone's side but Israel, okay? So now come back around to what is a piece of evidence that supports this theory. Well, the Iranians took credit for all the other attacks, right? On Kuwait, Bahrain, Oman, and Qatar. There was a rumor out that maybe Israel did Qatar too. And in fact, there Tucker mentions that they might have caught Mossad agents in Qatar, right? But no, for the moment being, Iran has claimed attacking Qatar. But that's interesting because that's a juxtaposition to Iran going, what, Saudi Arabia? We didn't attack Saudi Arabia, because they're bragging about all the other attacks. They're saying, oh hell yeah, we hit them. And you see if you're safe now, UAE, when they hit Dubai. But on Saudi Arabia, they're like, what are you talking about? We didn't do that at all, right?
Right.
So that's a big, big difference there. And that's what makes me think maybe there's something to that. In terms of, did they catch Mossad or not in those countries? Well, presumably we're gonna find out, right? I mean, we might not, maybe they'll bury the news, etc. But if we find out, then they did, right? But for now, that's not a good enough source for me to say it definitively happened, right? So I come back to, I don't know who hit Saudi Arabia, but now Israel is on the table.
Israel is a crazy rogue state with half its political leadership in the mindset of the 5th century BC. Reading some text from King Josiah, and Israel has just plunged the world into probably the Third World War, but into a phenomenal economic crisis. This is the timing, the instigation is Israel's. The fact that the U.S. goes along with it is because it's completely coherent with the U.S. hegemonic project. But this is Israel. Complete madness. And because of the hold of the Israel lobby in the United States, that madness isn't even examined. Excuse me? We have an ambassador in Israel. The U.S. has an ambassador named Mike Huckabee, who is let's just say a minor Protestant evangelical theologian, if I could put it that way, but that's a very polite way to put it. And he said 2 weeks ago, yes, Israel owns the land from the Nile to the Euphrates. And when Tucker Carlson asked him, excuse me, they own the land, could they take it? He said, sure. Yeah, sure, they could take it. This is, again, what's sometimes called by psychologists or psychiatrists a folie à deux. This is a craziness of Israel matched by a craziness of the United States. Israel wants to be the hegemon from the Nile to the Euphrates or beyond. The United States wants to be the hegemon of the world. That's a long-standing project. And here we are in the early shooting of World War III, unless somehow somebody stands up and stops the madness.
Iran is Trump's Vietnam. Make no mistake. This playbook has been used before. I remember being a kid. Well, 58,000 kids, mostly teenagers, came back in a box. And what good did that war do us all these years later? Nothing. It was all based on a lie. See, these politicians think they're gods and they think they're going to control the whole world. Look at Trump. They killed the supreme leader a few weeks ago in Iran, and Trump says he wants to be part of picking the next supreme leader. Are you kidding me? This is not our country. We have all kinds of problems in America. We are absolutely flat broke. We're $40 trillion in debt, and this war is costing us over $1 billion a day. And if you think this is going to end tomorrow, all you have to do is look at Vietnam. They said the same thing, and it went on and on and on, and the body bags and boxes kept coming back. I remember it well. This must stop. We must rise up and stop this megalomaniac from creating another Vietnam. The Iranians are not going to stop. The Supreme Leader's son has just been put into power. You think he's really going to lay down? Trump wants an unconditional surrender. They will never stop. This is going to go on forever until we pull out of there with our tails between our legs, finally waking up after all these young kids are going to die for no reason whatsoever in a war that we started. They didn't come after us. We started this war. Make no mistake. We are the bad guy in this situation. We are the aggressor. We're still the ones that attacked them. They did not attack us. This is flat wrong, and it's going to backfire on Trump and the rest of the United States.
Pas un de nos soldats, pas une de nos armes pour la guerre de Trump en Iran. Nous devons faire comme Pedro Sanchez, dire non à Trump. Trump a choisi pour allié Netanyahou, un criminel de guerre, responsable du génocide à Gaza. Et Trump a décidé d'utiliser la force brutale en violation de tous les principes du droit international. Et le résultat, nous le voyons, c'est l'embrasement sur toute la région, c'est le chaos, c'est l'histoire qui une fois de plus se répète. C'est nous les Européens qui voyons déjà flamber les prix du gaz et du pétrole. C'est nous les Européens qui sommes les premiers exposés au risque de représailles terroristes. C'est nous les Européens qui voyons l'instabilité à nos frontières. Notre pays doit tout mettre en œuvre pour faire cesser au plus vite cette folie meurtrière.
Israel is taking a bloody good hiding. But you don't know it. You don't know it for two reasons. First of all, anybody releasing a picture or video of the damage in Tel Aviv is immediately sentenced to 5 years in prison. And secondly, because the mass media, CNN, BBC, Sky News, have accepted Israeli censorship and are therefore not broadcasting the footage that they have taken over a Tel Aviv that now looks like Gaza. How do I know that? Because I've got friends in Tel Aviv. Shankin Street, Tel Aviv. Near Dizengoff Square, Tel Aviv. And they've been walking around, and it's they who tell me from their own mouth that Tel Aviv now looks like Gaza. How could it not? Because the air defenses over Tel Aviv are no longer operational. The Iranians are hitting at will with the most powerful ballistic missiles. 50 ballistic missiles hit Tel Aviv last evening alone. They're also lying to you about the number of American casualties. How can all these CIA bases, all these American embassies, all these foreign bases of the United States, how can they all have been hit and destroyed?
יואו, הלך הבניין. יואו, יואו. יואו. בוא'נה, יש אנשים לכודים. וואו.
פגיעה ישירה. אוטובוס שלם עולה באש. אוטובוס שלם עולה באש. מכוניות, אנשים. אני לא מאמין. 10 מטר מאיתנו יש פה אוטובוס עולה באש. אנחנו
תהיה ערני ובשלו יהיה יותר מדי...
בשרפה על הגג ובסריקה במבנה. עד כאן?
ברור, ועד כאן.
חולצו כל הלכודים?
אנחנו בסריקות. עדיין בסריקות.